up, YouTube? This is Joel, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Hall of Fame and some Eagle players that are eligible to get in. Now, I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about how Donovan Mcnabb and Brian Dawkins are eligible for their first year. I don't think either will get in their first year, but I do think Brian Dawkins will get in at some point. Donovan, I'm not so sure. I think he's probably borderline, and I lean towards him not getting in. He's a very good player, one of the best Eagle players of all time, but not a Hall of Fame quarterback. That being said, despite Donovan McNabb being probably the Eagles' greatest quarterback in franchise history, I do think Randall Cunningham should get into the Hall of Fame. I believe he will get into the Hall of Fame. As we know, one of the criteria for getting into the Hall of Fame is not just numbers or how much you win or how many Super Bowls or how dominant you are. That is a big part of it, but there's also a criteria that people don't talk about a lot, and that is when a player can revolutionize the position they play. Okay? Can a player do stuff that other players haven't done? Has he changed the way that position is played going forward? And if you look at Randall Cunningham, the ultimate weapon quarterback, he definitely revolutionized that quarterback position. He was the real first ultimate weapon quarterback. Yeah, there were guys like Steve Young and guys before that did run, but nobody like Randall Cunningham. Nobody could do what he did on the field. And he changed the way that people looked at quarterbacks. They changed the way that quarterbacks play. And then you saw guys come later on, after Randall left, you saw the Michael Vicks and you saw the RG3, even though it was 1 year, and Russell Wilson, and there's these guys, and they run now, and quarterbacks today, a lot of them can run, they can throw, they're dual threats, and I don't think that's possible without Randall Cunningham revolutionizing the quarterback position in that way. So he might not have had some of the numbers other guys did, and he didn't have all the wins. But what he did that Donovan didn't do, and that what other quarterbacks have not done, was he changed the way you looked at this position. He changed the quarterback position to be dual threat. And for that reason, Randall Cunningham should get in over Donovan McNabb. And I love Donovan McNabb, but I think Donovan McNabb is borderline. And he may get in at the end, and I hope he does. But I don't know that he will. But Randall, for that one criteria, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And when you look at Brian Dawkins has the numbers. He can put his numbers up with any other safety that played. And Brian Dawkins also has that same distinction. He changed the way safeties were used. Jim Johnson used Brian Dawkins differently than a lot of safeties were used back then. He built his defense around Brian Dawkins. And then you saw, because of the way the Eagles used Dawkins, you've seen teams like the Steelers with Palomalu and Ed Reed and all these other guys come and play more like Brian Dawkins. And he also changed the system. So that's why Dawkins and Randall Cunningham will eventually get into the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.